and welcome to this week's Warriors HQ. Saturday's game against Leinster was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch and concern for the safety of the players and supporters. That game will be played at a later date, with the date and time to be confirmed. Supporters should hold on to their tickets for that game, as they will be valid for the rescheduled fixture. Coming up on this week's show, an extended interview with Gregor Townsend on his new contract with Scottish Rugby, and we speak to Henry Pyrgos ahead of the 1872 Scottish Cup fixtures. Glasgow Warriors were handed a massive boost earlier today with the news that Gregor Townsend has extended his contract with Scottish Rugby, keeping him at Scotstoun as head coach until June 2017. Earlier on today, we caught up with Gregor to talk about his new deal.
It's a great place to work. I love the people I'm working with and what the players especially have done over the last few years. I really want to stay here and build on that.
A number of players have made the step up and played international rugby over the last few years. You must be very proud to see those players perform, not just for a club, but also for country too.
Yeah, you know, as a coach, you get excitement when you see a really good training session, when you see the team win, and also when you see players reach that next level, playing internationally, playing in tournaments like the World Cup. And it was really a proud moment for everybody at the club to see 21 Glasgow Warriors players playing in the World Cup.
Since joining the club as head coach in 2012, has coaching been what you'd expected here?
I knew it would be hard work. And the hard work is something that you have to do to get the rewards. And the beginning of the weeks can be tough. They're tough for players, they're tough for coaches as well. But as we get closer to building up to a game, the excitement comes in, the players take over, and you see them playing in front of the crowds that we've had at Scotstoun. It's a real thrill. It's something I want to do for a long time. How
would you say that your coaching philosophy has changed over the last 3 years?
Well, I'm not sure about my coaching philosophy, but I've certainly improved as a coach, but there's a long way to go. I'm learning all the time, learning from the players, learning from other coaches, and more importantly, learning from experiences. And you get that every day. We have an excellent environment here. It was already there, a working environment. We've maybe added a little bit more of learning on top of that, and we see the players learning really quickly. And also we see them putting massive effort in for each other and the supporters.
And looking back on the season so far, how would you sum it up as we approach the end of the year?
Well, it's almost at the halfway point. It feels like we've just started. We had a really good pre-season, and I felt that the way we played during the World Cup period was excellent and better than I expected going into the season. We haven't had the amount of games than we planned for after the World Cup, with 2 being called off. But what we're seeing from our training is real quality, and I'm sure that'll be transferred into games running up to the Six Nations and beyond.
Has it been frustrating to have those 2 games postponed as we look ahead to Scarlets this weekend?
A little. More frustrating for the players. They put the work in during the week. They've earned the selection. They want to play, and not to play is frustrating. But they're working really hard at training, and let's hope no more games are called off from now until the end of the season.
Hopefully, as the weather improves, the conditions will become better and the pitch will become better as well as we move into the new year.
Every player and every coach wants to play in good conditions, but it's a winter sport and we're in the Northern Hemisphere, so we have to adapt to the conditions, make sure we play winning rugby and when it's poor weather. But we certainly will be looking forward to some drier conditions later on.
Just finally, after winning the Guinness Pro 12 final back in May, you said this was just the start of the journey, and that journey continues now.
Yes, it does, and there's a lot of work that'll that is going in to make us a better team. It's great that players are committing to their futures here, and we see the work they put in every day, and from that we'll become better and we'll have more success.
Glasgow Warriors Champions Book, which commemorates the Guinness Pro 12 title success last season, will be available to purchase at Scotstoun once again this Saturday afternoon, and there'll be some players on hand to sign it as well. The book is priced at $15.99 and will make the ideal Christmas present. Saturday's game against the Scarlets is our last of 2015, and what a year it's been for the club. Our first game of 2016 will be against Edinburgh Rugby in the second leg of the 1872 Scottish Cup on the 2nd of January. And earlier this week, we caught up with injured scrum-half Henry Pyrgos, who talked about the importance of these fixtures. How important are these games and what's the rivalry like between the two teams?
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, a lot of the guys know each other really well through playing for Scotland or, growing up in the same area, things like that. So, it's a huge rivalry, two pro teams in Scotland. It's always going to be a big game. And obviously, at the moment, we're sitting pretty close in the table. Edinburgh going well. We're finding a bit of form. So, it also gives you a big kick on, big momentum boost if you get the wins and moving on towards the end of the season. So they're huge games, a lot of points up for grabs. So it's exciting times. Our crowd's grown and grown at Scots, and it's really become a fortress. And every week you see it, the crowd come out in force and are really vocal, which is exactly what we need. And against Edinburgh, it'll be massive. And again across at BT Murrayfield, hopefully, I'm sure we'll get a lot of fans going across, and it'll be exciting, good atmosphere, and hopefully we'll go and get the win.
And with just 2 points between the teams going into the first 1872 Scottish Cup game, it's going to be absolutely massive, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. Obviously, I think we're one place ahead at the moment, so it's really tight, just 2 points. So, a lot of points up for grabs, and you want to get them, you kick yourself on, move further up that table, try and get into the playoff spots. So it'll be no doubt they'll be fiercely contested. They always are, to be honest. It doesn't really matter if one's top or one's bottom of the table. They're always tightly fought games. So. There's a lot of guys in our squad who've played in these games before and they know what it's all about. So, we'll obviously concentrate on the Scarlets coming up this week, but we'll move into that and getting excited about it.
Saturday's game against the Scarlets here at Scotstoun is our final home game of 2015. Kick-off is at 1 o'clock in the European Rugby Champions Cup. And Warriors HQ returns next Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Glasgow Warriors TV. Catch it all at youtube.com/Glasgow Warriors.